Welcome back. I'm playing Warhammer 40,000 Battlesector, and we are now going to discuss the Exorcist. Now, this is a funny unit. I had a total love affair with this unit when it was first released, thinking this was like God's gift to, or I should say, the Emperor's gift to all the loyalists here, so I used it all the time. And then as I did more and more multiplayer matches, I rapidly found out that, yeah, it's a really cool piece, but I was rarely getting 230 points worth of damage and kills with it to make it pay for itself, so I then stopped using it completely and got pretty negative about how this artillery piece functioned. So there was only a few maps where I actually thought it made sense. Now they've reworked it and my love affair has been rekindled, so it's like a bad relationship that I just keep going back to. But I think that this should be a really good unit now, and I played a couple of multiplayer matches with it and it feels really good. So they made some really nice changes to the artillery piece here. So before I continue on, if you're enjoying these videos, please give my channel a like and subscribe to encourage me to post more content for you. So the Exorcist, this is the artillery piece for the Adepta Sororitas. It is very expensive at 230 points. It's one of the most expensive units that you can pay for on the Adepta Sororitas roster. It's a vehicle, so it has 400 health, 1 action point, 4 movement, 9 armor, and it starts off with a whopping -20 evasion. So anything that's going to shoot this bad boy is likely going to hit it. Now, its main artillery piece here is our main weapon, I should say, is the missile launcher. And this is pretty similar to what it was before. So you have 1 attack. The unit that it attacks has a base damage of 52 to 70. And then it has a splash damage of 26 to 35. And it'll splash up to 9 units in a squad. So it will allow you to do substantial damage to things like Cadian Guardsmen or Gretchen, things that have lots of models. It does have an armor piercing of 6, so even when you're attacking heavily armored units, you'll still get some decent damage out of that 52 to 70 damage if you're using it to attack vehicles. Now it has a really long range, so it can shoot as a minimum range of 2, and it can go all the way up to 12, but it does have an optimal range of 7, and then it has a base accuracy of 80 at that optimal range. And then for every tile outside the optimal range, like again in this case it was 7, the accuracy will fall off 5. So let's say you're attacking somebody that's 9 tiles away, that's 2 tiles off of the 80, so that'll drop it by 10, so then your baseline accuracy will drop down to 70. Now, they've reworked how the artillery work, so they've given it the artillery function, and people tell me this is how it works on the tabletop. I've never played the tabletop, so I'm totally ignorant of all this, but I've been told if you miss an attack with an artillery, what'll happen is it'll randomly go to a nearby tile, and it can, if that tile has either enemy or allied units on it, it will do full damage. Now, before it would only do the full damage of the base attack, but I've used this and I accidentally shot myself, my own units, and I verified that it does have the full splash damage, so it really does do full damage now if you miss the attack and you activate that scatter. So you need to be very, very cautious that you don't have like a flamer right next to a unit and then they end up getting attacked by that artillery function, because that definitely will hurt to take one of these attacks to the face. Now, the only good side of it is if you end up having friendly fire with the Adepta Sororitas, it'll get you a shit ton of momentum because you're taking a pretty massive amount of damage to every model, and the more models that take damage, the more momentum you gain. Now, it does have a free attack as well called the Heavy Bolter, and this is the same Heavy Bolter as every other vehicle has. It has a 2-turn cooldown, it has 20 attacks, base damage of 6 to 8, armor piercing of 3, optimal range of 4, at the optimal range it has a base accuracy of 90, and it falls off 10 per tile, so that definitely will help you mop up some units to help get this Exorcist some experience. Now, the thing that makes it amazing again is the fact that they've reworked how Devastating Refrain worked. Before, you would sacrifice your movement, and then it would end up giving you additional armor piercing and damage. So yes, it would be nice to help you attack heavier to medium tier infantry and still do pretty decent damage. But again, most of those units don't have tons of units in the squad, so increasing the damage by 10 damage just didn't feel great. However, now how this works is you sacrifice all your remaining movement, and what I'm not sure about is, do you need to keep a minimum of 1 movement to be able to use this ability? I assume you do, since you're sacrificing movement to activate it, but I suppose if you have no movement you can still activate it and just not get any bonuses, but I'm not 100% sure about that. So when I've used it on the multiplayer matches, I've always left 1 movement there just because I didn't want to cost myself the match by not being able to activate this ability. But really you're going to need to get 1 or 2 of these abilities off to make the Exorcist pay for itself, because now effectively what this does is for every movement point that you sacrifice, it will give you 2 critical hit chance increases and 2 accuracy. So if you're sacrificing 4, that's plus 8 accuracy, plus 8% critical hit chance. And then now you get 3 attacks that you can use with the missile launcher here. And there are 3 regular attacks. So if you have a heavy infantry force, you can just plop 3 attacks down. Now they do have to be somewhat close to each other, so you can't have them like completely separated across the screen, because then so you just got to be aware that there has to be some proximity of your different targets to be able to do this. But what really works out well is moving these guys, trying to get them into an optimal range if you can, and then if you've saved up enough points to give yourself the tier, just 1 command point, I should say. I shouldn't really call it tiers to the command points anymore, because that's not really how it works. But you use the very first ability that gives you plus 20 accuracy and also gives you increased crit chance. So if you're in the optimal range, that'll be 100% accuracy, and even if you're a couple tiles off, you're still in a 90 plus accuracy, so you're going to be hitting at 85% greater chances with those 3 attacks at full damage. So this will either allow you to mop up infantry if they're low tier, or substantially injure them, so your other units like your Retributors, your Battle Sisters, your Canonists, somebody else can just run in there, or a Flamer if it's something like a Gene Stealer or Blood Angel unit that has a little more armor that the Flamers can't usually take out. Well, now they've been injured enough that you can run those other units in and easily get the kill. So this is amazing. It only has a 2-turn cooldown, so you can, every 2 turns you can do 3 main gun attacks with this. So that really makes it become more cost effective to use these guys, especially if you can get them positioned and buffed in the proper way. And then while you're waiting for this attack to go off, you can either just use a regular attack here, or you can end up using your Hunter Killer Missile, which is your other option. And what this is a 100% guaranteed attack. It fires a missile that does 60 to 80 damage with an armor piercing of 8 at a range of 8. Now, if you get these guys empowered, it becomes an even deadlier missile. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't restock your ammunition, so you want to make sure if you are going to be able to feed this guy enough feed this guy enough momentum that you want to use that you don't shoot your load before you get them to surge. But there's been many a time when I've had this Hunter Killer Missile and I have an HQ commander or other high value target that's just about ready to die. Well, now you just lop that Hunter Killer Missile and you can guarantee the kill. Now, this is a vehicle, so it does explode on death, so it'll do 52 to 70 damage with armor piercing of 3 to every unit, friend or foe, within 1 tile when it dies. And then vehicles now have a new ability. All the vehicles have this. It's called the Blessed Hull. And so what this does is every time this unit is attacked and hit by, takes damage, then it'll activate the Blessed Hull. And what this is effectively damage mitigation ability. So every attack, so it's not like if somebody attacks with a single unit that has 20 attacks, you're going to get all 5 stacks. It's per attack by itself. So, those 20 shots would be 1 attack. But it gives you a stack of the Blessed Hull. And each stack of the Blessed Hull gives you a 3% damage mitigation, so it stacks up to 5 times. So that's a 15% damage reduction that this thing can have. And then if you end up buffing it with the Hospitaller, now all of a sudden it's got 10% bonus HP, and it has a 10% damage mitigation, and that lasts for 2 turns. And then you can buff or you could, sorry, I didn't want to say you can buff the range damage because that's been reworked, but you can give them some momentum and even more bonus HP with the Sister Superior here to help you get to surge this guy even sooner if that's something that you're interested in. And so this will definitely increase your survival, because now that this is so powerful, it's definitely going to be aggroing attacks from your opponent here, because they're going to want to kill this guy. And then this is just the artillery icon that says if you miss your attack, it'll jump to a random square. So this does less damage than the Basilisk, but it also gives you better control to help you get kills much easier than your Basilisk can. And so for that reason, I really like this a lot more than the Basilisk. And then it has more survivability, a guaranteed hit. And then again, instead of having the barrage ability with the Basilisk, which will just randomly fire on this tiles, this allows you to select your units, and then with you throw in those accuracies with the Sister's ability, and now you can turn this thing into a highly accurate artillery piece that can have a significant distance and do a lot of damage. So we're going to play around with that a little bit. I'm going to bring out some Paragon war suits just to play around with, because I want to use their grenade launcher to help weaken guys down, to help feed experience to the Exorcist so we can show off their abilities. And likewise, we have some Sisters of Battle that are going to have some grenades to also help us weaken forces here. But this should be a good matchup for us here, and I'm glad to see that it's rekindled my love affair. We'll see if this time it'll last longer than it did on my first infatuation with this unit. So let's set up an AI match and see what we can do. And we'll set it up as Exterminatus, 10 points, 100% per our standard. We have Adepta Sororitas, we got our Tester Army 2000, and we had a mirror match last time, so now we're going to be fighting the Demons of Khorne. That should actually be an excellent matchup to show what the Exorcist can do for us here. So let's get started. And I'll just move these guys around. The big thing is you want to make sure that you always have your Exorcist out in the front, because you want to get him kind of positioned where you want him to be. So on that second turn, once his ability comes off a cooldown, you can use him to start activating as many of those attacks as you can, because you really need to get those attacks off as frequent as possible to get the most out of your money here. Oh, that's the Exorcist. I'm like, why can I not move you?
I walk in his light with haste.
Seeking an optimal firing position. Moving into position.
I will not fail.
Let's get you there, and you can come up to here.
Moving into position.
None shall best me. Death awaits his foes that straight close.
Now the big thing is we're going to have to be careful that he doesn't end up jumping me with the Bloodthirster here, because that could be a bad day for us for sure.
With faith, we will conquer the galaxy. Who tests my conviction?
What I'll do is I'll bring you back down to here.
Who needs my
Get you up to here. And my heavy flamer is stuck back here, unfortunately.
Standing by. Ready for contact.
Now, when the Exorcists are having Overwatch, they no longer Overwatch with their missile launcher. They actually Overwatch with the heavy bolter. So if you're unfamiliar with that, they did change that, because in the past it would be really annoying when you'd be playing against the Exorcist because it's one of the few artillery pieces that when it would overwatch, it would actually attack with its regular weapon, so it still retained all of its splash damage. Unlike, say, the skull cannons, which these guys have, that it just does single damage and without the splash. And so they could attack even on spots that you wouldn't have vision, and so they could squad wipe infantry when they were moving, and you wouldn't even know where they were. So, yep, here comes the Bloodthirster. We kind of figured this was going to be happening. What's happening is, as they're soaking up Overwatch, they're triggering their ferocity here, and that gives them increased evasion. You don't want to attack my poor Paragon warsuits.
Fresh targets. Seek the Emperor's judgment.
The enemy scouts our position.
I am his iron will.
Alright, well, this is problematic, because...
None shall best
Oh, maybe... Yeah, they do have a zone of control, I was going to say. They should be able to be blocking me here. How do I want to do this? I think your flamer is going to be enough to kill the Hellhound. Let's verify, I guess.
Its service, there is life.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Alright. Well, that's a 70% chance to attack here. So I guess we're going to have to take it. And then I know your flamer is going to be strong enough to... kill the Bloodletters.
The unclean shall burn.
So we'll just have to be careful about that. Now, the question is that an obstacle here or not, or can you attack on that corner? Well, I guess I'm going to find out. Okay, you can. Good.
back to the war.
And we'll attack again. Good. And you are the one. How do I want to do this? Your Blessed Blade can come over here. And we'll attack here. And you can shoot here. And you can shoot again. Alright, so that's dropped them down to 30 health. And now, if I attack here, this should guarantee you get this kill. And now I've gained 30 momentum, so that's excellent. So we've already gotten a good way closer to getting you stronger. Now, what I will do is use your 100% guaranteed grenade shots there to weaken those guys down. And you can use your grenades to attack here. Weaken those guys down. And now if I do this... Yeah, see, your accuracy is a little bit lower than I'd like to see. But if you can land the attack, that'll be some decent kills for you.
For Catherine, for eternity.
Yeah, out of range here, so I guess we'll attack here. I could also just charge into here and attack these guys. Damn, I didn't actually want you to overwhelm them, because I wanted you to have blocked that position. Well, let's set up the Sisters of Battle here. Because that may encourage them to just target the Sisters instead. We can throw a crack grenade here. Hide them behind here.
We are his shield, Indomitable.
Why is your chance to hit lower now? I thought I was looking at like 7. Oh, because I was looking at the increased accuracy for the movement because it was moving it up by 8. That's what was going on. Yeah, let you try your 65% chance, I guess. And you missed. Move you up to here to hopefully get you away from those obstructions.
I find heresy.
I can move you up to here. Buff everybody.
You are his will made flesh.
And you can't actually use your...
With a gracious heart.
By his will.
Your festive soul.
You'll use your Right's Intercession on the Paragons here.
Who needs my aid?
The unclean shall burn.
So I think that should be blocked, so I'm using you as a barrier here to kind of cause a jam. I should have moved you to here, and then I could have moved that hospitaller over there to try to buff everybody else.
With faith, we will conquer the galaxy.
Well, I do have a flamer here, so we'll just move you over to here and set up your heavy flamer.
Who tests my conviction?
And then you just stay back here, I guess. And we'll see what happens.
I stand ready.
So they're doing their charge. He's charging too. He's summoning. Yeah, this is what I was trying to avoid, because those guys can do pretty decent damage against the Paragons here. Now, thankfully, they smoothed them out because they should have kept them together, because that would give them increased crit chances, which is how you really turn them into an excellent anti-vehicle killers. Yeah. So it says you can flame through the wall here, but this is full cover, so it actually doesn't let you attack, even though it says you should be able to. So that's what's happening here, is the AI saying, oh, you're letting me select this unit, and the flamer should easily allow you to get those kills. But that's why it's not getting triggered appropriately.
I thought I saw something.
And then he decided not to flame through his own guys here.
You are unworthy of his light.
Yeah, charge attack is the right one to do there.
I am his.
Alright, so how are we doing on momentum? Still not where I need to be. Now let's crack grenade, or frag grenade these guys. And then we can frag grenade again. And that should guarantee our artillery piece is able to get some kills. Now,
Yes.
I guess we'll just have to start healing, because this will also get their momentum higher. Let's get you up to here. And you can attack here. Alright, those guys are down for the count. And I guess you just start working on these flesh hounds here. Okay. And you can just attack here, I guess. Alright. And let's just help buff this guy up further to help get you even more momentum in case I want to empower anything later, because now you're up to 50. I guess you'll just have you attack here too. So there you go. So now we've taken those guys out. Now if I come up here, this should kill these guys because it's a heavy flamer. Yep, they're dead. How is my... Gosh, really? Well, let's just flame these guys down then. There's 24. How about now? Ah, we're almost to 1. We're getting closer. Anybody else ready to attack? I guess I have you. I could flame those guys down. I could also flame through here, and then that will get you some momentum here. So I suppose that's what I'm going to do. So that gives us a little more momentum. Is that enough to get me to 1? Oh my gosh, I'm just short yet. Actually, what we can probably do is heal yourself, because that should get you like 20 momentum. Yep, there we go. So that's enough. So now what you do is you use this and you get plus 25% ranged accuracy, plus 10% critical hit chance. It also could make sense to do the 15% damage armor piercing as well to get additional kills. But generally I like the accuracy because I want to guarantee that I'm getting hits on the units that I'm attacking with. And so now you can see this is applied for the 3 turns, and now we can use the devastating refrain. And I have an 88% chance to hit here, so let's do that. I've got a 90... Oh, I'm too far away. Okay, so let's do this. If I come here, here... Oh, shit. Alright, this is unfortunate. Alright. I thought I had this perfectly set up here, but I do not. Alright, attack here. Okay. I think I have targets now. So we'll do this, so you can see here, here, and here. And that's a 100% chance to hit him. So there you go, 16 momentum there. Oh, I hit my own guys there and got the kill though. And then there, and we killed him, so now we're up to 72 momentum. But as you said, you got to be careful about attacking your own guys there, because it definitely happens. Now these guys are probably going to die, unfortunately.
Yes.
So let's move you here. Let's move you back. We'll keep you to here to try to tank these guys. I'll move the cannoness up to here to block that location. You can come up to here. And then we'll move our sister superiors over this way to form a line. Actually, I probably need to have the sister superior here to form the line there. And then my poor paragons are going to die. Yeah, there go the... Oh, he's doing the charge over here, huh? Smart. I wasn't actually expecting you to do that. Alright, and they're going to attack here. And as you can see, they can actually do decent damage. They're like the most dangerous units against your sisters here because of their armor piercing and substantial ability to be able to really injure you. So just keep that into consideration. So we've got you to here. I can give you 30 momentum. That allows you to get empowered. So if we were empowering the Devastating Refrain, it allows you to make 3 attacks, and it'll give you +3 critical hit chance, +3 accuracy for every movement spent, and it'll have a 1-turn cooldown, so you could use it the following turn. And then with your Hunter-Killer missile, it now will fire a missile dealing 97 to 130 damage with an armor piercing at 10 and a maximum range at 12, which can hit almost anywhere on the map. So as you can see, that definitely is very powerful for our sniping down powerful enemies there for sure. Let's see, you're here. Let's let you heal here. And we'll buff everybody. Is anybody ready for... Okay, so let's get you that extra action point. And then let's start buffing everybody's damage over here. And as you can see, those different buffs will stack. Well, I guess you can't see it there, but you can see it stacking here. So let's get you up to here. I guess you can just start cutting these guys down.
Go back to the war.
Now you can trigger your Faith and Fury. Attack again. Can get you... I could do a movement there.
What shall we purge next?
Let's just sacrifice his evasion there, I think.
Ready for combat.
Do heavy bolter there.
None shall
I don't know if I have anybody that can actually kill this guy, now that I think about it. Let's move you up 1. Crack grenade here.
Yes.
I guess you'll just start melee attacking this guy down. I can move you over to here. Now you can move over to here and start getting rear attacks this way. Okay, good.
What shall we purge next?
Let's see, you only have 1 stack, so that would only be 10 armor. Do I really? I mean, I've got multiple guys that can get some attacks. Here, let's just attack here. And do this. Oh, I thought that was going to be enough to get you to,
With faith, we will conquer the galaxy.
to surge. I guess that's not the case. That's 80. This is 85. Well, let's just surge. Let's let you attack here. And you can attack here. Now you've killed all those guys. And then you can shoot over here. And you can shoot here.
With haste. Who needs my aid?
I will not fail.
And he's got one of his little vehicles hiding way back there.
We honor their sacrifice.
Enemy contact.
We honor their sacrifice.
None shall best me. Our duty awaits at the front.
Alright, we'll attack here. Flame here. Let's see, you do 15. So if I did this, that'd be 60 to 80. If I go here, see, I have to decide which one I want. I don't quite get how the zone is calculated with this. So you can trigger it without doing all 3 targets there. You just have to hit enter.
Yes.
Your rights of intercession is left behind. Now let's get you up to here, I guess. You can come over here. We'll just buff you there. And buff here.
For Catherine. For eternity.
And you're just going to shoot into there. You're going to flame. You're going to shoot again. You can heal yourself, I guess.
With haste.
You can come up to here. Buff that. And now you... Do I have anybody else that can attack? I don't think so.
We will conquer the galaxy.
So I guess... Can you charge over there? No, you can't. So I guess if we're going to sacrifice one of your movement, we might as well just run you all the way over here. And this should allow you to get the kill with your 3 attacks. So, as you can see, the Exorcists definitely feel way better now. It's a little ambiguous with how you select your targets to be able to attack, but it's pretty easy to now get them the momentum to be able to get them to surge. And as you can see, that Devastating Refrain definitely works out real well, especially if you start stacking up bonuses with the increased accuracy and crit, and then you can also increase the damage they do to higher tier units by increasing the damage by 15% and then the armor piercing by 1. And if you want to guarantee a major hit against a high value target, you know, you save up that hunter killer missile, and with that range you can get halfway across the map effectively to help you snipe guys at 100% accuracy. So if there's a high value target like your commander, ethereal, HQ unit that you're just about able to kill, then you could definitely use them to help you get that last amount of damage. And then as you weaken guys up with your flamers and grenades, you can keep feeding damage to the Exorcist. And with it only having a 2-turn cooldown, you know, every 2 turns you get 3 different attacks with the Exorcist. It's incredibly powerful. I suspect it's probably going to be nerfed because this is now single-handedly the best artillery piece in the game, hands down, in my opinion. The Basilisk is also very good, but it limits its viability because of the RNG associated with it. But it's like theoretically you're doing a 3,000 point match, you bring 2 of these guys out and then you have them next to each other. Well, you just do 3 attacks back to back. That should allow you to squad wipe a lot of those guys and effectively just feed resources to your Exorcist, and you can alternate back and forth whichever one you want to end up surging, and then you can use 2 of those enhanced hunter killer missiles to assassinate most HQ units, except for the most elite ones like the commander or the the Bloodthirster would be another one that it would have trouble killing, or I suppose like a Librarian Dreadnought, but people rarely use that. So it can just do a lot of work for you here. You know, on a standard 2,000 point match, you can bring out 2, but I think having 2 of them is going to limit your mobility enough, because that's going to be almost a quarter of your points, and you do need to have units run around. It's not just getting kills. And then as you can see, depending on where they were positioned, if there's any obstacles, the game does calculate an RNG chance that you're going to hit the obstacles. So the walls on the Imperial Ruins here, or they'll actually strike the bridge images on the bridge map. So you just got to take into consideration where you're attacking and try to position them in a way where those missiles are not going to be obstructed, so you don't have to also roll for the damage, what would I say, the obstacle hit, which will nullify the attack. But definitely feels much better than the original artillery pieces, and I definitely think they're a viable option right now. So thanks for watching. I hope you're enjoying these videos. If you are, please give my channel a like and subscribe to encourage me to post more content for you. Have a great day.